What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Today we're going to be talking about Kaldesh cards, and I have a playlist on my channel if you want to check it out. And I have I've done the videos so far for white and blue, and this is black. And basically I just like to talk about these cards, if I think they're going to be good for limited, if I think they're going to be good for like pre-release draft. That's how I like talk about a lot of these cards. I don't spend my time talking about all of them. So yeah, this card, I'm just gonna like talk about some cards that I think are just really sweet, and yeah, let's get started. So the first card I want to talk about is Noxious Gearhulk. I've been like really impressed with the Gearhulk cards. I think they're really awesome, and they're just like really big threats. They're just like really big dumb things. So it's 6 mana, it's a 5/4 menace. Honestly, that's just really good. Like, you could have stopped there and I would have been like, sweet, okay, awesome. ETBs, you can destroy something, and if it's okay, that's sweet. I already like that. And then if something is destroyed, you get to gain life equal to its toughness. I mean, so many relevant abilities, like 3 awesome abilities just like boom stapled onto this creature, and it's only 6 mana. I think for all these things, I just yeah, it's so good, so good. I'm really excited. Card seems sweet. Then we have Demon of Dark Schemes. This is another really just big, dumb threat, is basically what this card is. So ETBs and everything gets, all other creatures get -2/2 until end of turn. Now this reminds me of, is it Biting Rain? I think it was Biting Rain that was in one of the most recent sets where like all creatures get -2/2 until end of turn. So it's kind of like that, but it's stapled onto this and it's a flyer, so that's awesome. So say like a bunch of those creatures just casually, you know, like, die, and you get like a ton of energy counters. You get to pay some stuff, and then you return target creature onto the battlefield, under your control. This card's dumb. This is just a really big, dumb thing. I love this. This is so sweet. This is just super awesome. Plenty of really awesome abilities. Card seems great. And it's a 5/5 flyer. You know how much I like my flyers, and it's black, and I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. Okay, then we have Gonti, Lord of Luxury. I like the flavor of this card. I think it's sweet. So it's a 4 mana 2/3, and it's got Death Touch. Pretty okay. And then in ETBs, you can look at the top 4 cards of opponent's library. You get to exile them, and then you can cast it and spend any mana to cast it. This reminds me of a Night Veil Spectre, but better, because it's a 2/3 and it's got Death Touch, and it's got this sweet ability where you can pay any mana of any color to cast it. That's awesome. This card is sweet. You also get to get rid of some things. You get to exile some things from your opponent's library that are going to be like intimidating or threatening. Overall, card is awesome. Definitely going to be popping up in EDH. This card seems great. Then we have Eliminate the Competition. This is a really sweet board wipe. I like it. It forces you to sack your creatures, but honestly, like, there are some points where you just really need to clear the board or you're just not gonna win. Yeah, this card is super good. You know, getting to like sack 5 creatures to destroy 5 creatures for 5 mana is like really awesome. So this card seems like major value, really sweet. Then we have Diabolical Tutor, and personally, I love this art. I think it's super sweet. The card is also just really good. I mean, tutors are awesome, but especially like when you're playing like you're playing like draft or something, and then it's just, or like sealed, and like your opponent has no idea what you're gonna get. So yeah, it's just super good. I like this card. Been printed before. Then we have Make Obsolete. So this is a really awesome potential board wipe / combat trick. So what I really like about this is that, oh my gosh, I got so confused. I read the, I'm looking at Mythic Spoiler, and I read the card, but then I also read like what they say the text is, and it says, the text says creatures you control get -1/-1, and I was like, what? But the actual card says creatures your opponents control. That's weird, that's confusing. Someone messed up on like when they typed it. So yeah, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 until end of turn, which is awesome. It's instant speed, it's a sweet combat trick because you can like block in such a way that your opponent's like, yep, okay, and then you're like, cool, well, your things get -1/-1, yours die, mine live, something sweet like that. So yeah, card's great. Then we have Aetherborn Marauder. So, guys, you know how much I love my flyers. It's a 4 mana 2/2 flying with lifelink. That's awesome. And then what an ETB is, you can move any number of +1/+1 counters on it from anything onto this card, which I think is really awesome. So like, you know, you can have like, there's a ton of stuff with like +1/+1 counters, which is super cool. And you can just like, boom, like move all those +1/+1 counters on them and then just put them all on this thing, which is really cool. Or you don't have to, or it just can just be like a 4-mana 2/2 flying lifelink. Seems great. Card's awesome. Can't lose. Then we have Underhanded Designs. I really like the art of this card. I think it's really cool. So it's an enchantment. Whenever an artifact comes into play under your control, you can pay 1. So each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So you're on that artifact game and you're just like playing a ton of artifacts and then you're like pay 1, you lose life at gain life, which is awesome. And then you can pay 2 to sack it to destroy target creature, which is awesome. Yeah, you gotta control 2 artifacts, but like you probably have some artifacts laying around from all those, you know, the things to use the first ability. So you're playing this in like an artifact tribal deck or artifact themed deck. So yeah, it's like removal, but also like lose life, gain life. But what's really cool is like you can just have this like chill on the board if you really need it to. Like you can be like, okay, well like, you know, I don't need to deal with that threat right now, so I'm just gonna like, you know, gains like a bit of life and then drain my opponent out, which is really cool. I really like a lot of the lose life, gain life stuff just because it so reminds me of like Orzhov in Gatecrash. Return to Ravnica block, yes. So I really like how they're bringing that back. Then we have Essence Extraction. So it's an instant speed, probably removal spell. It's gonna like do 3 damage to something, which is really awesome. You're gonna want to pick up a ton of removal. Yeah, it's double black, which potentially maybe a little bit shaky if you're doing like more than 2 colors or something, but card's really good, and you also gain a little bit of life with it, which is like really awesome. So card's great. And the last card is Tidy Conclusion. So a lot of times what they'll do is they'll do these things like they'll have like a really high mana cost removal spell. They do this all the time, and a lot of people are like, I don't know, man, this card's like really expensive for removal, and you're right, but removal is key. So important. I have a problem where I draft too much removal. Like that's my like obsession where like I always talk about removal cards in these videos because I'm like, even if they're like mildly okay, like this card's not great, but it's not like awful. It's just like, I don't care that it's 5 mana. Like it's just, you know, it's like Lava Axe. Like Lava Axe is like pretty awful, but it's removal. Wait, is Lava Axe something that does 5 damage to their opponent? That card. That was a really bad example. I can't think of any good removal. Oh, like not Bone Splinters. What's that 5 mana one that was just in the most recent set? Not the most recent, one of the most, I don't know what it was. It was 5 mana and it was an expensive kill spell. But yeah, doesn't matter. They're super important. You need to play them. So it's 5 mana, you destroy target creature. It's instant speed though, which is like actually really awesome. And then you get to gain 1 life for each artifact you control. So again, if you're on like that artifact synergy. Another thing that I really like too, that I've noticed of the colors, is that all of the colors have a little bit of artifact synergy with them. So like, you can't, it's not one of those things where like, oh, if I'm gonna do this deck, I have to be in these colors. If you're drafting artifacts, you can pick like any colors, which I really like. I think that's really awesome. I don't know necessarily like which colors are the best for it, but yeah. Yeah, guys, that was it. That was it for talking about black cards from Kaldesh. Definitely check out my playlist below if you want to watch some more videos of this set, get yourself prepped for the pre-release, and so that you're like, what cards do I play? Let me know if you guys are going to the pre-release, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!